It's time for change to move into the real work of the universe. And it's time to understand that we use the matter state to reach the level of understanding of the soul of them. Now you understand maybe why the Creator has sent His messengers in the name of whatever you have had. Is that they bring the ears, that it can be used when the time of the Messiah comes. They can teach the soul and the message, not to oppose. But by them understanding through those who have become Messiahs, to give from their souls to these to elevate, the job is made easy. The school is there and the students are devotedly there. Then there won't be any fight between what they call the Muslims and the Christians. The lamb and the lion will eat and sleep in the same nest. The Christians and the Muslims will sleep and pray in the mosque and in the same church in the name of their souls, not in the name of religion that is used to create so much conflict for the benefit of those who were the hyperactive children. The time has come, the time of change is here. And as I said, my wish is my command. If it's your wish to see peace, the path of peace is laid very clearly. It's the soul of the collective awareness. By giving will create that position of change. No other thing. There is no pen in the soul of the man. And I'm sure once you go into the universal community, you will never see anything written but the balance of the fields of the soul of the existence. Try to be humble enough not to become arrogant in the power that you have understood and you possess. Otherwise, you'll fall in the same path of the church and the mosque. This is what we promised, and this is what we have delivered. We have to understand the operation of the soul, and we have to understand the soul of the man is a star in the cosmos of the universe. If we compare the soul of the man and many of us, 7 billion in one collection, Earth is like a galaxy with so many stars. When we look in the depth of the universe, we see galaxies with hundreds of millions of stars in it. So is the planet Earth. It carries 7 billion beautiful stars, which are the soul of the man. Carries with it soul of so many trillions of animals, plants, and everything else. So if you look, when someone who does not see the physicality of the earth and its content, what do they see? They see a galaxy with so many beautiful lights shining, each one according to their strength, each one according to their position. An infant has a beautiful soul, so has the old man. To those who do not see the physical dimension of this planet, but they see the strength of the field, we are clusters of stars. The human race, every single soul, no one from a distance sees that's the soul of a fisherman, that's the soul of the cosmologist, that's the soul of the president. They all shine irrespective of the physicality. This is the magic. This is what the new science has to bring to man. When we look to our soul, we see nothing but the star in the other souls. And this is the break. This is the understanding. This is what all these teachings are about. Coming to mature to the next level, to understand in the deep space, the universe is the oyster for those souls who serve. Then man is ready to go into space. Then man is ready to become part of the universal community which has been promised. I never promised you heaven. I always promised you the elevation of the man to join the family. And now you have the key. It's you who has to open the door to understand, if I can raise the soul of these people or millions of other souls, that the physical life on this planet changes, then I'm worthy to be part of the universal community. To be there to serve, to expand, to be there, to be part, that in the cycle of life of universe, I become, in being part, I become part of the totality. When man reaches that point, a new dimension in the strength of the soul of the man will appear, which is beyond imagination of understanding of the physical life. It's the gate to the opening of the new life, in a new dimension, which is beyond imagination of what you might call a new beginning, a new cycle. Which that cycle carries with itself the origin of the creation of life in the universe and in the universe. It's the elevation of the soul to serve become the key, not a throne of the physical life. The time is right. The time has come for the man to go through this process.
Witam wszystkich bardzo serdecznie na 183. publicznym warsztacie poszukiwaczy wiedzy w języku polskim. Dzisiaj mamy 23 sierpnia 2018 rok. Gospodarzem dzisiejszego spotkania jest Jarek, Kuba, Dawid, Paweł, Przemek i Marcin. Nauczycielem jest dr Keshe. Tematem dzisiejszego spotkania jest tłumaczenie 236 warsztatu. I to jest od 2 godzin do 21 minut. Od 2 godzin do 21 minut do 3 godzin 8 minut. I jeżeli będziemy mieli jeszcze trochę czasu, to włączymy 237 warsztat i to będzie od 43 do godziny. Także serdecznie zapraszam do odsłuchania i do obejrzenia.
So, That free plasma condition can be conditioned for manifestation of the man from planet Zeus with a child in his hand and his dog. What do? You stand there and watch it? Or you switch it off, it falls on the ground? No. You create, you reduce, you diminish the size, he goes somewhere else schwitzing because he carries through his soul, not through his physicality. It's time to understand, and as part of what is becoming the joining of universal community, that man understands we are on that phase. We have to start building a home for the passengers of the universe by understanding, to creating the condition, not to imprisoning the way what we've done to the fish, to the dog and the birds. Because you have to remember, this time this animal has the intelligence of the soul. So when you start putting these things together, when you start putting these dynamic systems together, when you start making conditions, say, oh, in this patch I was making gold and the other one was there, have a look what is sitting behind it, what stands behind it. Creative condition of existence is cornerstone of manifestation of creation in the universe. And if you don't learn it, you cannot manifest yourself, and you cannot manifest those who you want to guest. It's very much as I said, we manifest our love to the President of the United States as a love of nation of Iran. We don't tell him to come here, we show you. We say, you come here, we give you the love of a nation. And this is how it should be. We got to understand, we from now on, is not just making answers, is what conditions we create, that what it leads to. If you create the right condition, you can create the liver and kidney which was missing, as we said last time. As it can do that, and you've seen it, it can be done many things. Now you have to understand, if the kidney had that condition and the position, if I make the salt of the existence of the planet Zeus, I'll have guests from there. What am I going to give them? Fish and chips? This is where the knowledge comes in. This is where the extension of the knowledge comes in. And this is what we got to learn. Because I brought you to the point of seeing it, making it, and if you have the wisdom and the knowledge of seeing it, and in the future you start making these plasma vision glasses, now you see creatures. How are you going to speak to them? You can see, I have already brought the universal community to your homes. You do not have the sense and the vision to see them. You created it, not us. It doesn't need to be dynamic. If you put a glass of magnesium in one place and something somewhere else, and in between the glass in one side of the room and the God knows the jar of whatever on the bottom cupboard and the other one on the top of the roof, you're testing, creates a condition that gives rise to manifestation of the entity, which feel the strength of it is that environment, you will see. You haven't seen ghosts anymore. Now the knowledge brings us the friends from the universe. And in time, when man matures, we'll understand more. We got to listen, we got to see. As I said, I carried this for the past few weeks with me when I used to sit in front of the Chinese space center. And many times, and I looked at 3-4 people running, I said, they don't see, do they? They are looking to fly. I'm looking to see what conditions I'm creating with the matters on this planet and leads to manifestation of one members of the universal community. I'm not making a zoo. I'm adding to the knowledge that in the future, when I explain to you what comes, what's been, and what you get. The team in China are looking to fly, but the time is not right yet. Because you have to learn when you fly what you're going to do with your visitors. Feel the presence. Feel, understand what you create. You don't see them. How do you want to fly? And you're going to bump into them? You're going to kill them? Or you're going to create a field that it takes their soul? We are at the, not even the nursery of the knowledge of the universe, and we cannot create damages. But when you sit, especially as I said, there is altogether something like 300 plus cores running in these systems. They create a combination of fields. And our team is just wishing to fly. It would not happen, not yet, because you haven't seen what you're creating. There's no use running a car when you're hammering it 200 people standing on the queue in the bus stop. You are creating environment. What happens if you put an empty jar in that glass which is right in front of you, and dynamically as you're creating the field, you see something and you call it a genie? Or is it the way, if you understand this process, you create a condition of transmutation? If you make this jar big enough that it can carry the size of the body of the man, or small enough that carries the strength of the soul of the man, you can manifest the man. But you don't see it, because the knowledge of the man is not that point. How do you think we travel in the depth of the universe? Back to Future car? No way. Understanding the transmutation of the plasma, yes, that's the only way. And many of you creating it. Now you're running into problem. Not us, you are running into problem as a human race. Now you start seeing too many genies and you see too many what you call ghosts, but there is no ghost. You create a condition. It's like you walk in the dark and you got a torch. You don't see. When you turn a torch, somebody's standing in front of you. Because now you have the light to shine on them. The creation of the dynamic environment is that light that it shines on the presence of the entity. And you got to learn. And man, with where we're taking you to, has no choice. You have no choice. You thought I'm going to bring you a spaceship and put on top. You have to make the condition that when the spaceship, when you invite those who can be manifested, you have a place to host them. And you can control it, that you can host them. They do the same with you. If you think you travel the depth of the universe in the body of the man, as I said, you're quite welcome. It means you have not understood the scent of the teaching. You create conditions, understand what you create. I looked and I literally looked as the new medical systems which are getting developed, dynamics, and I said, my God, these guys don't even understand what they're hitting at. And now what they want to do, they want to fill it in with neutrons. My God, you understand what you're doing, because while you're putting it together, somebody must be sitting in there that you were not expecting. What are you going to do? Beam me up, Scotty? the test which is getting done in China is not the expectation of understanding, it's understanding the field strength, and gradually the team understands, seeing what they see. They tell them, you're crazy, you're seeing this. No, you create the condition, you have to educate people. I was watching for a few seconds, maybe 10, 15 minutes on camera, and I could see things, and I thought, this guy's standing there and one sitting and not even see what I see, and I'm seeing my camera directly. They don't come and move a chair for you to say they exist. Because in their dimension of physicality, chair has no tangibility. It's like you putting your hand through fresh air. With tests like this, you put, people want to make dynamic system, put 10 of these mixes together with different mixtures and you see what you create. You don't need to have a space flap and God knows CERNs and to speed up the electrons and whatever, accelerators. These are your best accelerators. These are best systems you can create to create condition of what you call existence. Man will learn very soon. And don't expect all the heights to be midget because you put them in there. You got to understand we're entering a new phase of teaching, a new phase of understanding the totality. This is part of the reality which you have to accept. If you're running a star formation and you wake up in the afternoon and says, oh darling, there is somebody in the basement. Of course it is, but it's not from this planet, is it? I told you to switch the machine off. You should have done that. But it's somebody from planet Zeus hanging around. You create a condition, he came to have a look. But he doesn't have an eye. You see a face, you see a mirage of the image. Because he sees through his soul. Don't expect to see people with eyes and noses and everything else just because it suits you, you have one. This is part of understanding this, we have to, and I have to bring it so fast forward. That mankind has to mature to it. This is part of the process we have to. This is part of understanding, and we have no choice because now we set our systems to meet. Now we have no choice. Switch off your dynamic systems, switch off your MAGRAP systems, and don't ever switch them on. Because in a way, I have headed you that way. I'm a very clever guy. You haven't walked into the trap. You walked out in the knowledge of creation. And you have to educate yourself very fast. And one of the reasons we use neutron partially is the food of universe. So you always have something to give, to confirm and to be able to sustain life. It's part of the process. You came here today, now you see you become a host. What are you going to give your guests? In Iran, we are offering the gift of life. I wonder what Arizona has seen up to now, never seen before. Because they were looking so amused by to see where the field goes, they don't remember and they haven't seen they made a pool of life. It's a very interesting when you sit in front of the Chinese system. And I can't say because they don't see what I see. I know what is there and what is to do.
Can I cut in for just a second, Mr. Keshe?
Yes, you can, Mr. John.
So it's interesting that you brought that up because the other day, well, let me just say from my standpoint and some of the people that are in the factory, there's a palpable change in, let me say, peacefulness factor. It's like, you know, at times I'm almost overwhelmed with, you know, a peacefulness within my own body. And I know it's from being within the fields that are going on at the factory. But the other day we had a gentleman who's a friend of the foundation come into our facility, and he's what I call an energy sensitive person, in that he sees energy fields. When he came into the environment, it was in a way it almost took his breath away, because he noticed a dramatic change in his environment by being within the fields. And he stood in front of the fields for a while, and he said that he saw like sparks of light coming from certain sections, and he started paying attention to it more and more. And he said that, you know, they're definitely there, but they're scattered. When we ran the balls around we turned on the ceramic balls going around, and he said that what happened when we did that was that the fields got more coherent, in that they seemed to be more imbalanced. So that's some of the things that are going on. You know, just being in the GANs, you know, it's definitely a different environment. Anybody who comes around says the same thing. Even, you know, somebody delivering a package or whatever says, you know, what's going on in here, you know, because they notice something different.
You see, you are in an advantage point of research, because, as I said, you have made a launch pad with your Maghreb systems. which is fixed. It's not dynamic, but the interaction of the fields of fixed base with your dynamic base, what do you call it, 3 base reactors on the top, creates a constant field strength. If you change some of your ganses in your cores, or you might change something in one of the base launch pad bases, or call it your 18 reactors, you might create a condition that in that position you see things. You create a condition that there is a manifestation. We always say, as I've said many times, from here to the moon, we think there is nothing, it's just empty space. By God, it's full. Nowhere in the universe there is empty space of fields. And how do they react? How do they interact?
Let me play this short. It's just a 23-second video, and I'll pull it off the screen of our.
We gotta ask Armand to stop sharing.
Oh, this is
Mr.
mine.
Armand Golan.
No, this is mine.
This is yours. Ah, okay.
A lot of things that Armin had mentioned, I believe, are correct in that when we mix up the GANs, what I believe happens is we energize it. So if we took, like, for example, our CO2 and put it in this blender before we put that water into the lake, if you will, by putting it through the blender, I believe it would carry a lot more energy.
My God, since when did you wake up, John?
Okay.
Go back to last year, we spoke about the pepper, you can do it. This is what we taught a year ago.
Okay, so what I'm trying to get at for the people dealing with the health stuff is that they can improve the energy within the health devices by putting it through this type of process also. So that Armin is offering is correct. We're going to actually take some of our GANS material that we had in our reactors, we're going to homogenize it, and we're going to put it back into the reactors and seeing if that's enough to boost this up a little bit. But one more thing I want to just get into, and that is this idea of the frequency of the human being. You know, for a lot of times, you know, our frequencies have been dumbed down by the foods that we eat and the meats and stuff that we consume. And we've kind of done it unknowingly to ourselves, while all of the elites, if you will, would deal with you know, what they're called the monoatomics, and they used to drink and eat the monoatomics to elevate their souls. I believe that some of the GANS waters now can kind of help us elevate the soul so that the soul can actually become the vessel that will allow us to see these beings and interact and contain the fields of the spaceships that we're creating. So I know that that's out there, and perhaps perhaps time is getting close where we can open up that umbrella. With that said, let me just shoot off this quick 23-second video of what we're doing in Arizona. We're here in Arizona, and we're blending up a tritium carbon crystal milkshake. Okay, how do you turn it off? How did you turn it off? That's it.
Hello.
Yeah,
What are we supposed to see in that?
so that was energized energized tritium, H3.
What does it do? What did it do?
Well, that's what we're going to be putting in our reactors.
You see, the Chinese space test, they took the neutron, if I remember, or hydrogen. No, they took neutron, and they left it in the sun. I think for a day or whatever, and to energize it. And it changed color, if I remember correctly. I have a picture of it somewhere. And so you don't need to blend it. If you can put it directly to absorb the plasmatic field of the universe, it's much easier because it's made to that. Here you extend the physical, mechanical side or matter side of it, where there you strengthen the plasma side of it. And this is what we said. If you know what you're doing or you understand it, when you put a hydrogen and you add energy to it in the right way, or you put a neutron, it will end up to be tritium, and it changes to the color of tritium. If you don't understand it, you can blend it, you'll get there faster, some of it. But some of it, if you can understand the process of it, converts into a carbon, and you can get a crystal from it.
So we also tried the drying in the sun. As a matter of fact, all of our dried GANs is from the sun, and you know, whether it's the salt.
What happened? No, John. Let me explain it. I think I couldn't explain. I didn't explain it the right way. You put your GANs in a sealed ball. It cannot dry. It can only transmute. Bahá'u'lláh said, that's his name. The maturity of the man comes when he understands the process of transmutation of elements. We pass that because man is so mature now, understands the transmutation of field of the universe. So, if you dry it in open space of matter, yes. But what about what the Chinese did? They sealed the ball and they let it to increase the energy. Arman can tell you what you're talking about. What if you go back to the Iranian nuclear reactor, space one, the energy reactor we made in Italy, coming from Bruges in Belgium, they all have wings on it, like ear. What for, you think? exactly what you are doing. Mixing it,
Yes,
homogenizing the
that's right.
field. You remember, Arman?
Yes.
So why do you think now you come to it? You're showing it in a different form.
Correct.
That all the
No,
time.
Mr. Keshe, we done this even 2 years ago. Even I have a bowl which has a mixer in it. If you want, I
Yep,
can show it to you.
I know. I remember. Now you know how what you need to mix.
Yeah.
This is in a way part of what is missing in the Chinese reactor design.
If you can see.
You have archives of things in there, Arman.
Yeah, I brought it with me.
Oh,
It's
there
a
it is.
mixer
Just
in
the
it.
mixer. Yep.
Even you can rotate the bowl separately and a mixer separately. So you'll fill up from here, close it, seal it, and you can rotate in high speed.
You took it to Mexico with you.
Yeah. I brought everything, Mr. Keshe.
Even the dogs.
No, I have another dog in here, which guards me right in front of it. Here. He's laying down.
This is the process that now we understand how to use it. The knowledge has been sitting there. If you have that mixer, especially like in the Chinese space reactors, flight is imminent. Homogeneous structure is imminent.
It has a wings, this is
Yeah.
nano-technology again, and it has a wings.
You remember I told you there are a couple of faults with the space reactor, but it's part of the learning. It has to be there. If you make multi-cores, just give an edge that it has a wing on every one.
Yeah.
Every layer will create its own homogeneous field. Space flight is imminent. If you look at the Iranian space reactor, especially the one they flew, I deliberately made that kind of what do you call it, expansion on the body. You've seen it. You remember if you've seen it, there were nano-material glued on top of it inside. That are the wings. We're coming to the point. We're coming to the point of understanding more of what we knew. Hello, Armanjan. I can see you. And this is part of the process of what do you call it? Evolution of the knowledge. He's trying to get it going. I can see.
It works.
Of course it works. Armand Golan made it. Now you can fly it. If you understand what you got in there, Armand, you can fly that machine.
Slowly but surely.
You have something called a neutron there. Choose a neutron from tritium and choose a neutron from hydrogen, base bound. Mix them in that mixer, you have two different type of hydrogen, neutrons. You got to realize, The neutron which comes from the work of the tritium and deuterium is different than the neutron which comes from hydrogen and deuterium, even though they are both neutrons. And if you can get a right ratio of the two in the ball, and if yourself understand there is a third neutron which can be brought in at a higher order of magnitude, you don't need the walls of the reactor to be built and have separate. The neutron energy balance will create gravitational magnetic field of the universe. Then the use of the tree gives you the dimension of reality of the existence within one reactor. Very, very old spaceships were built this way. And are very safe. You see, even the dog says yes. So this is the understanding of the knowledge. Why these reactors are safe? Because if you get the ratio balance, it's like a top, middle, and third layer of the skin, they will exist. You cannot diminish. Because it's dynamic, they transfer energy between one and the other, and the ratio balance just moves. The deuterium in time will become the tritium, and the tritium moves back into the bottom to become the hydrogen. Because they give the energy to take their energy. So you have a dynamic system by just the deuterium, because this is what I have a problem. I don't have a problem in time when somebody writes a scientific paper about it. Oh, now Mr. So-and-so discovered this, but oh, it was said before there, whatever. So you got to learn, as I said, a very famous expression in Farsi. Whoever has got a mustache is not your uncle. Huh? So just because you created the neutron out of between deuterium and tritium or hydrogen, doesn't mean they are the same. If they were the same, they would have taken their position in the other one. So you can use the energy difference balance in neutron to create the same dynamic flow. You don't need three elements. This is what you have to extend the knowledge of understanding of the space technology. And if you put three different, one neutron from deuterium, one from tritium, and one comes from even, as I said in the earlier part of the teaching, from a neutron from conversion of between plutonium and uranium, and put it in the other side of the room, that you create the space gap cage, you might find the space gap that it allows you to see into the depth of the universe. You don't need to be there. We make visual manifestation in spaceships this way. As you can manifest the images of entity, you can manifest the same, the visualization of the depth of the universe in presence, zero time. If it's hard for you to understand, what do you think? You just drank the orange in the water? Or was the shape of the orange in part of the structure you eat? Why did you feel the texture? Man, when he understands the time travel, understanding to watch, you can't send the camera to watch and take 20 minutes for the light together and come back. When the knowledge of the man matures, man will create what we call visualization of understanding the depth of the travel in depth of the space through understanding of this process. You have a lot to learn yet.
Mr. Keshe, I have a question. Good morning.
Yes, Dr. Azhar, good morning.
You know, when we use the blender to mix the GANs,
It's not for the filling in the dentistry, definitely.
Mr. Keshe, the body of the man is the GANs as well, is correct?
Of course,
Okay,
you have a ton of it.
So if we can create the same condition like a blender for the body, like use something on the body or create a condition that every single cell or atom in the body shakes like that, any disease can disappear in a minute.
Yeah, but you disappear the organs too, huh? You made a milkshake.
No,
Where is the ice cream and where is the ice?
No, not like that, Mr. Keshe. Not physicality. Vibration in a way is non-physical. There is a feeling.
Yes. You see, there's a very big discussion about when it becomes vibration, does the plasma vibrate? And does it only vibrate on a given state of matter existence? The rest of it is dynamic. It's very much, if you look into the center of the core of any planet, is there actually material in it? Or is it bunch of neutron gases and the rest which are in there created under combustion, creates the rest of the heat and the motion and the heartbeat? I like your plastic boxes, Arman. They're all bought from IKEA by the look of it.
Yes. Mr. Keshe, I have, you know, one thing I want to show it to you. This is 3 different setup, but they all connected together. You remember in the Senzano, when we started to make it GANs, we made it in the small boxes. But look at the voltage.
Yeah? What about it?
It's on high.
Yeah? Yeah? What about it?
It goes to 0.
Of course it does, because the energy is plasmatic. Are they nanowires or normal wires?
They are, this is nano connected to not nano. The way we did it in the Senzano, way we started.
Yeah. Listen, I don't remember what I had for breakfast. It's lunchtime.
So, and it goes to 0 all the time.
Yes, it does. It should do. Because the flow is not in the matter state anymore.
Okay, look this one, Mr. Keshe. I've set it up, CH3 up here, and these are CO2s. But look, the color, it changed.
Of course, we know that.
But you put the CH3 up, this is CO2, now it's impossible.
How do you know that's a CO2?
No, what I set it up, zinc and a copper.
Yeah, but this is exactly what I was telling you a few minutes ago, Armanjan. You are not on, it's not that pot anymore. You have another pot. You created another field.
Correct.
That field affects this field. Now you have the guy on the top, and you have the other guy next door.
Yeah. Now this one is CH3 too, but look the color. It's all black under.
So that's deuterium.
Deuterium. It's totally separate.
You see, there are some elements you have to understand the totality. Copper has a magnetic field spectrum that part of the middle bottom end of it fits into the spectrum of the iron. But in the nano state, because you nano coated the copper, yeah?
Yes.
Now
correct.
you have a galvanized plate which originally was supposed to create the CH3, but now the coating has gone. And what do you have? You have gravitational magnetic field of the ion strength of the copper in a nano condition field force. And now you have a straight galvanized plate, which is the iron inside it. What does it give you? Gans of iron. You have to look at your mesh, and with the mesh you understand what you're creating.
Here, the mesh.
Right. Is the mesh has got any galvanizing left on it, or is
yeah,
it totally
yes,
iron?
it still has it. If you see here,
All of it?
Still
all
gone.
of it?
No, the bottom part is gone.
Yeah, so that part now can produce gans of iron. As much as it has the 56, 58, bottom range, 60, 62, 59 of iron and copper in respectively. So somewhere the field strength is of the iron, and now you created one iron, the field automatically converts itself into the iron, and you get a bunch of them out there.
Yes, the bottom is blue.
Yeah.
They black. The color is totally black. But here, it's still the same.
Yeah, but the thing is, you don't have the same condition.
No.
Now you have the field forces from underneath which are pushing up through.
Correct.
So it's not the same environment as the other one.
Correct. That's why the color change, you can see it.
Yeah, you see the uncle is not the same uncle, is it?
No. Mustache, she have a mustache, but... So, this is what I want to show.
Thank you very much, Amajan. Don't forget my tortillas, huh?
It's there, it's waiting for you.
Thank you very much. Thanks, Armanjan. Thanks, John. Oh, there's an animal walking. It's from planet Zeus. It's passing. It's a spider. I can see it.
Yeah.
That was the first life form created by the Keshe Foundation in Mexico, perhaps.
Yes.
Wow.
I have here.
Camera.
I have here.
The little camera shy. See.
This is calcium. I have CO2. I have hydrogen in another side.
You always wanted a lab like this, Hammer. Now you got the freedom to run it.
Yes.
So
I am here every night.
Oh, you do a night shift with a dog?
Yeah. Dog is protecting me.
I don't think you need protection.
No.
God protected you.
You just feel comfortable to sit in front.
It feels good. They usually go to gas because they take energy. Anything else, or shall we call it a day? Today we taught a lot, but you need to understand it. And we are nearly past 3 hours, more or less. What I request in a way, please go back, download the message to the ambassadors, and as you see, to the leaders. And when you send the message, write in your message, this is a message for your president, please pass forward. Thousands of them has been sent forward. They don't think somebody just sent it in. And bombard White House with it. They cannot deny it, there's something there. And if you can get it to the press, release it to the press, let them publish it. Anything else, or shall we call it a day?
Well, that's about it. Just a statement from Doug that you were mentioning dogs, and Doug had just written with the simple evolution of the knowledge, even a dog understands. It's so easy, is another comment. So, thank you, Mr. Keshe, for...
Today, at least we brought universal dimension and teaching and understanding and environment into our teaching. And I try to cover this more and more in depth, because as what do you call it, the Chinese and the others who are at it are testing, and will see. It's important for them to see that it's not a mirage or something happened or something heard. You have to understand you have entered the dimension of creation of the not only production of materials, but you have entered into the dimension of the universal community. And this needs maturity. And this needs understanding. And the use of it. How we're going to use it. Not only for the benefit of mankind, but the understanding that is a key to a peaceful environment in the universal community. Thank you very much. Thank you indeed. There is one note, please, those of you who support us, we'll try by next week to release the Defense of Keshe Foundation against the government of Belgium. Post it, because if they manage to do what they've done there, we all be quiet by it, to suppress us, and they carry on with what they've done. This is the evidence which has got to be seen by the world courts, by the international community, and is not act against one man, it's an act against humanity which has caused us to this point. We've seen the people around, they know they're on the verge of being arrested, and the things are in the process. Now the completion of the submission of the evidence was last Monday, is submitted. This week we kept it to the note for the world peace with the world government. Next week, next Thursday, we release the evidence for you to post it. Raw material, pictures of the king sitting and talking, that it shows the intimidation. The evidence has been submitted, and some of it might have been omitted by the lawyers for whatever reason. It'll be there for you to submit. That with this process, we turn the corner, that we make a peaceful planet for all of us to exist. Go back to one of the papers which I wrote very, very early on, and it says, the scientists are messages of God, the same as those have been. As we call scientists like Tesla, Pascal, they all brought knowledge in the way to help humanity to better their life. The same as the prophets, what we call messengers of God, that they brought us the way of living. The two value the same. As I said, from now on the two will come together and in one, which means they teach the ethos and the science together. And this is the way we work in the universe. As the messengers of God, we do this way. From now on, it's not that the scientist has become philanthropist. The presence covers both, that it can be understood in totality. In so many ways, we enter a new phase, and that is the phase of peace. And some rough edges has to be cleaned up. Human race is a beautiful race. And all we need to do is give him the ground to show the love of God in the creation of man. Thank you very much.
Very good. Thank you, Mr. Keshe, once again. And I think you've given us some food for thought for the next Knowledge Seekers workshop. And of course, a little job to do of posting and getting out the message on the document that we've been given in the links earlier today. So that should wrap up the 236th Knowledge Seekers Workshop for Thursday, August 9th, 2018. We look forward to the next.
Dziękuję za obejrzenie. To był koniec warsztatu 236. Także nie wiem, może zapraszam do wypowiedzi, do zrozumienia tego, co każdy wyniósł z tego warsztatu, lub do dyskusji. A ja w międzyczasie przygotuję sobie ten następny warsztat.
No, dzięki Jarku. Ja tak może w gwoli streszczenia, zebrania tego razem, podsumowania tego fragmentu 236 tutaj dr Keshe kontynuuje temat, który był takim, można powiedzieć, tematem przewodnim całego warsztatu, czyli zrozumienie tych warunków, tego środowiska, które stwarzamy i w zasadzie, tak jak mówił też tutaj pod koniec, tym wykładem wprowadził ten wymiar społeczności uniwersalnej w treść tego wykładu, bo uświadamiał nas o tych przybyszach, jakkolwiek to nazwiemy, tu porównywał też do jakichś duchów czy innych rzeczy, jak to sobie ludzie wyobrażają, które nie są dla nas, nie widzimy ich, bo nie egzystują w tej samej sile pól co my, nie egzystują na poziomie fizycznym, ale tak samo oni też nie są w stanie, tak jak tutaj w filmach na przykład widzimy, że jakaś istota w pokoju rusza krzesłem czy czymkolwiek innym, one nie są w stanie wchodzić w interakcję z poziomem materii tutaj na Ziemi, bo one operują w troszkę szybszej sile pól i nie są na takim, można powiedzieć, kompatybilnym poziomie, w którym mogłyby wchodzić w tę interakcję. Także tutaj uświadomienie nas, że właśnie przy zabawie z gąsami reaktorki tworzenia różnych warunków i środowisk niektóre istoty mogą w tym środowisku się manifestować, jeśli są one dla nich odpowiednie, może nie tyle manifestować, ale no w sumie manifestować, tylko w innej sile pól dla nas niepostrzegalnej. I tutaj parę takich ciekawych pytań rzucił dr Keshe pod tytułem co zrobimy z takimi gościami, których nawet nie widzimy, a co dopiero, co tu mówić o lataniu, czyli po raz kolejny taka chwila zastanowienia, zadumy, żebyśmy sobie pewne kwestie w głowie uporządkowali, co mielibyśmy zrobić z przybyszami, których nagle zaczynamy ich dostrzegać i je widzimy. I tutaj po raz kolejny dr Keshe nawiązał do tego, co widzi na tych nagraniach wideo, czy chociażby jak jest tam osobiście przy tych reaktorach w Chinach, jakie tam warunki są tworzone, jakie tam istoty się manifestują w różnej sile pól. Także bardzo, bardzo ciekawe takie podstawowe w zasadzie pytania, od których musimy budować nasze zrozumienie tego, co to jest spaceship, co to jest podróż, bo z takimi można powiedzieć zagłówkami będziemy mieli do czynienia. Później ten wykład poszedł w kierunku neutronu, tego, że jest pożywieniem wszechświata. John tutaj przy okazji w Arizonie mówił, że kiedy kręcą te reaktorki właśnie z neutronami, że ludzie dookoła są bardziej tak pokojowo nastawieni i dziwią się właśnie tą atmosferą, środowiskiem, jakie tam zostało stworzone nawet nie znając technologii. I tutaj chłopaki i John i Arlen pokazywali swoje miksery do energetyzowania gansu blenderem, co dr Keshe skwitował tutaj takim porównaniem, że w zasadzie powinni w ten sposób, wzmacniają tylko materię, ten gaz na poziomie materii, a lepiej można to zrobić wzmacniając go na poziomie właśnie plazmy, czyli poprzez wystawienie na słońce, czyli generalnie na działanie promieni magnetycznych i różnego innego rodzaju pól czy interakcji między innymi plazmami. Tom w pewnej chwili też nawiązał do tych monoatomowych historii różnych. Myślę, że tutaj gdzieś miał na myśli takie elementy jak Ormus, które też są, można powiedzieć, używane, rozpowszechnione do tego, żeby właśnie elewować, gdzieś znosić swoją duszę. Też chyba w przeszłości trafiały się takie pytania, takie porównania odnośnie gansów i tych monoatomowych struktur. No tutaj różnica jest dość znacząca, bo to nie jest do końca to samo gans i monoatomowe, na przykład złota i gans złota, bo w tym procesie tworzenia tych monoatomowych pierwiastków to jest proces obróbki, gdzie tam rozbijane są te wiązania, czy zmieniane są właściwości na poziomie właśnie elektronów w tych atomach złota, żeby one się nie wiązały, nie tworzyły twardych związań, które są typowe dla stanu stałego. A tu w produkcji gansów wiemy, że dzieje się to poprzez stworzenie środowiska, które jest odpowiednio dostrojone w odpowiednim spektrum siły pól i przyciąga odpowiednie elementy, tworzy warunek, w którym te elementy mogą się wykreować. No i później pod koniec dr Keshe mówił właśnie o tym, kontynuował wątek neutronu, że ten neutron z drytu i z deuteru różni się od tego, który uzyskujemy w interakcji deuteru z wotorem. A poza tym jeszcze jest trzeci neutron i ten trzeci neutron to jest ten neutron, który możemy osiągnąć poprzez umieszczenie po jednej stronie, czy w jednym reaktorze tego neutronu pochodzenia z pary tryd-deuter, a po drugiej stronie tego neutronu pochodzącego z pary deuter-wodór. I w tym momencie mamy po raz kolejny warunek neutronu, ale to jest tak jak robienie gansu z gansu, czyli wchodzimy tutaj w jeszcze szybsze pola i tutaj nawet dr Keshe mówił, że to jest osiągamy wymiar egzystencji poprzez utylizowanie tych substancji tylko w jednym reaktorze. Tutaj porównywał też kreację spaceshipa w tym warunku do 3 warstw spaceshipa, tak jak są 3 warstwy skóry. Tu myślę nie bez powodu też omawiamy znaczenie tych 3 izotopów wodoru, ale tak naprawdę nie potrzebujemy tych 3 elementów, tylko potrzebujemy 2 elementy, czyli te 2 neutrony, jeden z pochodzenia interakcji tej jednej pary deuter, a drugi z pary deuter-wodór. No i tutaj też było pytanie doktora Azar, czy nie możemy zrobić właśnie takiego warunku, jak w tych reaktorach miksowania całego ciała, żeby choroby po prostu same znikały. No to Keshe odpowiedział, że ale to razem z chorobami znikają też organy, jeśli można w cudzysłowie powiedzieć, rzucamy niemalże to ciało, oczywiście w zrozumieniu plazmatycznym do miksera, wtedy wszystko w środku się miksuje. No i na koniec jeszcze Armen pokazywał swoje pojemniki z Ikei do robienia gansów. To była też rozkminka właśnie na poziomie tego, że ten gans CO2, który robił się na dole, miał kolor takiej rdzawy, co było związane właśnie z środowiskiem, w jakim się znajdował, obecnością CH3 u góry, ale też tego, że mieć w swoim spektrum siły pól, wiadomo, że to nie jest tylko mieć na przykład 59 czy 60, jak doktor Keshe wyliczał, tylko są różne izotopy miedzi, które wchodzą w skład danej na przykład próbki miedzi i ta miedź, operując w szerszym spektrum, zwłaszcza, że jest w stanie nano, osiąga gdzieś ten pułap, na którym jest żelazo i w tym momencie mamy warunek właśnie żelaza, gdzie, tak jak doktor Keshe mówi, tworzy się gaz tego żelaza. No i w zasadzie to tyle, tak skończył się warsztat dzisiaj na 238 doktor Keshe. To, co teraz omawiamy i to, co było tutaj podsumowane, też jeszcze graficznie ładnie podsumował, także będziemy mieli jeszcze w przyszłości powtórkę z rozrywki z tych tematów. Ostatnio tak właśnie wyglądają warsztaty, że pewne wątki, pewne tematy są zbierane, sprowadzane do dość prostego już zrozumienia, które jesteśmy w stanie, zbierając te elementy, tak jak widzimy tutaj, ten reaktor, który miał Armen ze skrzydełkami w środku, coś czego brakuje tym reaktorom chińskim. Mieli to już od dawien dawna i w zasadzie tutaj w tej rozmowie doktor Keshe był świadomy, że miał narzędzie do tego, mógł stworzyć spaceship poprzez tylko użycie właśnie jednego takiego reaktora i w zasadzie wytłumaczył mu wszystko krok po kroku, jak to zrobić i jakie jest tego zrozumienie, jaki tworzymy warunek właśnie tego, że te 3 warstwy spaceshipa mogą się pojawić. I tak ostatnio kontynuujemy. Myślę, że to jest bardzo fajne i ciekawe, gdzie ta wiedza już jest naprawdę w bardzo prosty sposób przed nami wyłożona i tutaj ten aspekt właśnie, co jeszcze Azar poruszała i to zrozumienie, do którego dochodzi właśnie Armen, że no nie można gdzieś tam z tym wszystkim się rzucić z motyką na słońce, nie wiedząc do końca, nie rozumiejąc, co robimy, co tworzymy, tak jak tutaj było z tym warunkiem miksowania całego ciała, całego organizmu. Czyli też musimy, tak to, co doktor Keshe ostatnio cały czas podkreśla, wiedzieć, do czego dążymy, co chcemy stworzyć i doskonale rozumieć, jakie są podstawy technologiczne tego, w czym chcemy się poruszać, to, co chcemy kreować. Także to tyle ode mnie. Dzięki.
Fajnie, że uważasz, że ta wiedza jest prosto wyłożona, bo po dzisiejszym wykładzie ja sobie myślę, że bez pół litra ormusu nie rozbierzesz tematu. Także trzeba się napić najpierw ormusu, żeby zrozumieć gansy i to, co dzisiaj było powiedziane.
Ale ciekawe jest to, że właśnie ten ormus, to monoatomowe złoto i to, że nawet też w technologii, mimo że te 2 elementy gans złota i na przykład ormus to są w naszym zrozumieniu dwie różne w zasadzie substancje osiągnięte w totalnie różny sposób. Jedno bardziej na poziomie właśnie w dalszym ciągu materii, inne właśnie w formie gansu, czyli gazu w stanie stałym. I te same elementy, ten sam pierwiastek, złoto, to jest też ciekawe, że cały czas w technologii odbijamy się, docieramy gdzieś właśnie tymi rozdrożami, tymi gałęziami, konarami wiedzy, dotykamy tych wszystkich różnych innych właśnie gałęzi wiedzy, która już została w różnych kręgach jest rozprzestrzeniana, rozwijana i jej zrozumienie już od dziesiątek, setek, czasami tysięcy lat już funkcjonuje wśród ludzkości.
A pamiętasz zdjęcia ormusu? I one mi się bardzo kojarzyły z tymi zdjęciami, które pokazywali przy produkcji gansu. Dla mnie było to dokładnie to samo, tak? Tworzenie się gansu, a tworzenie się ormusu, który przenikał przez ścianki naczynia i w odpowiednim świetle, jak zrobiono zdjęcie, no to było to samo.
Ale co mamy jako to, co dostarczamy do układu? Tam w tym procesie było dostarczane złoto, nie? W postaci materialnej.
No ja tam nie zauważyłam złota. Tam jeśli chodzi o z tego, co technologię otrzymywania, to tam głównie była sól. Gdzieś mam to napisane, musiałabym zwrócić uwagę, ale tam były sole pomieszane i w odpowiedniej temperaturze odpowiednio długo, bardzo długo, bo tam się kilka dni gotowało.
No, czyli bardziej na zasadzie syntezy, łączenia się. No coś, co można by było jeszcze gdzieś tam dalej pogrzebać dokładnie, jak przychodzi ten proces robienia ormusu, ale jest to, jak widzimy...
Andrzejkowski podaje w swoim wykładzie, tam oczywiście szczegółów jak zwykle nie ma, ale podaje tam skład, co miesza też.
Z tego, co ja się orientowałem odnośnie ormusu, to i tak podstawowym składem jest sól kamienna albo morska. Natomiast no, ci, którzy bardziej wgłębiają się w ten ormus, wzbogacają go. Chodzi o zgansowanie soli. Wzbogacają ten skład o na przykład skały wulkaniczne bogate w platynowce, żeby tam sięgnąć do tych pierwiastków właśnie typu złoto, palat, rod. Ale to są śladowe ilości tych pierwiastków. Ja generalnie myślę, że tu głównym składnikiem i tak jest właśnie sól i te pierwiastki, które ona tam zawiera. Tak jak testowałem na sobie, można powiedzieć, jak czuję takie rzeczy właśnie jak gans soli, czy nawet jak robiłem kiedyś srebro koloidalne, czy teraz gans ze złota, to według mnie to, co Keshe proponuje, czyli gansy z pierwiastków, które stanowią większą masę dla odpowiadających naszym tym podstawowym pierwiastkom aminokwasu, to działa silniej, jest skuteczniejsze. Działamy tutaj przez tą masę właśnie tych pól, a te pierwiastki dodatkowe są i tak śladowymi ilościami.
No nie wiem, my widzieliśmy gościa, który nie słuchał zaleceń, wypił więcej ormusu niż zalecano, tak, maksymalnie tam 2,5 ml. Gościu sobie łyknął więcej. Wszedł na naszą salę, gdzie siedziało 60-70 osób i nas nie widział. Był w stanie odmiennej świadomości, przeleciał się dookoła. No, na szczęście takich rzeczy nie widziałam tutaj po gansach, więc jak gdyby są bardziej bezpieczniejsze w tym układzie.
No tak. No, mnie to nie dziwi, no bo ten skład ormusu, tak według tego wzbogaconego, tak, tam jest dużo pierwiastków, które mają bardzo dużą masę atomową, więc to jest pewien swoisty dysbalans, wprowadzenie dysbalansu do organizmu w takiej ilości. Więc to jest tak, no szukanie czegoś, że wezmę więcej, to że będzie lepiej, to tak nie ta droga, nie ten sposób działania i rozumowania.
To jest kwestia tej gotowości, tak, do naszego odbioru też. Faraonowie ponoć mogli trochę więcej pić.
No też ciekawe, czy oni pili ormus jako cząsteczki, czy wodę od ormusu. Ta moda teraz na ormus, co się pojawiła, no to suszony i jedzenie tej substancji niejako. Natomiast tutaj z tej technologii, to co myśmy się dowiedzieli też istotnego, że tu w zasadzie wystarczy wodę pić i ona też przynosi tę informację, a nie tworzy tak stałego dysbalansu w materii. Tak ja to nazywam teraz, że nie tworzy stałego dysbalansu, bo nie wprowadza się tych samych pierwiastków w takiej postaci suchej.
Ja mówiłam o wodzie ormusowej, ormus w postaci płynnej. Mhm.
No, troszkę inne zrozumienie, na przykład z ormusem, ale gdzieś tam koncepcja w jednym sensie podobna, w drugim troszkę zupełnie inna. No i te neutrony też temat, co ostatnio bardzo ciekawie wraca, jest coraz bardziej rozwijany i ten stworzenie tego warunku wymiaru właśnie egzystencji, tego wymiaru kreatora, tak jak mówiłem, to będzie jeszcze za parę wykładów przybliżane, omawiane po raz kolejny w jeszcze mniejszej pigułce będzie ta wiedza zebrana w zasadzie dzisiaj na publicznym. Dr Keshe leciał przez wszystko, zbierając to, katalogując, można powiedzieć, szufladkując, pokazując, żeby to już było naprawdę przystępne, przetrawialne przez nas.
No dzięki za streszczenie i za dodanie wiedzy. Tak więc może zaczniemy następny wykład.
Of energy in these small reactors. We are releasing neutron energy balance, which if those of us who understand the consideration of atomic structure energy in a what you call plasmatic condition, to deliver into the cloud and create such a huge conversion of the energy that we hit the transformers, then you can see how powerful these reactors are. If we get hit, if the clouds download to us, we should see explosion in our reactors. That doesn't happen. We see the opening of the umbrella, which means the speed goes up. We are opening in direction, so we are feeding into it. We are not getting stripped. We are getting opened up. And in that process, why we say we are not getting stripped or it's not getting opened up, that we lose our plasma, is because the other two reactors hold on to the speed, the same speed, or in the same combination of the speed. So what it means, the energy produced in these small space reactors at a neutron level, because especially the reactor set in China works totally and purely on conversion of the neutron. Is not a hydrogen or what we call tritium. It's a pure, the way we designed it, we only consume, we only use when neutron is created. So neutron energy in even a single neutron is so huge. And then we create these conditions. But the conversion of it is the biggest problem. We have to be able to contain it. We have to be able to sustain it. Those of you who are now testing in different space centers, especially governmental research people who we know are working in the background on this level, you have to convert the neutron energy into being able to control it. If you got to understand one big, what I call fundamental principle, and that is, if you have 3 reactors which can tame the top reactor and hold it and reduces the speed and rotation, but when you have an external entity like a typhoon or high clouds you create, then it means the power of the 3 base reactors must be much more powerful than the clouds. This explains, if you understand nuclear atomic energy, if you understand plasma transfer energy, it gives you a lot of insight. It gives you a huge insight into full understanding of the plasma in a space travel, in creating of the shields, in dynamic flow, and in process of the transportation and transmutation of elements. Because you can create conditions that this plasma flow from the top to the 3 base, you cut it up what you like to take from it to create oxygen, hydrogen, and everything else. You don't need to go outside. In a way, you create a condition which the cloud created outside to pull, you pull into the conditions of what you need to create. Hydrogen, water, or whatever. So, establishment of the what we call star formation systems internally to create matter or materials becomes part of the structure of the understanding of the process. So when we look at the field flow in the dynamic system like the space reactors, this must be so powerful that can stand gravitational magnetic field forces of the planet. So why don't we and how do we fly? The process is very simple. You have to create the plasma shielding, that you become an independent cell, that from there on, what we call always the soul of the system or the free plasma condition dictates its position in respect to Earth. Last night in the test, it became very clear that we are losing. We are just, I can read some of the writings from the space, the people who are on the site, that we are losing, we are speeding, it's becoming runaways, it's increasing in the speed. And very simply, all we had to do was to understand why, because there was no reason for such a move. And as we just ask one single question, was the air conditioned? Is it raining? And the answer was, we have a typhoon. The position is, as we ask now, what was the pattern of typhoon? Was it supposed to pass over the test center? Why do we get so much heavy rain typhoons over the space center? Are we leading to creation? Are we absorbing to be there? Are we putting such a vast amount of energy that creates these conditions? Then the question comes, in the space, can we create a condition that we can protect ourselves by absorption of the fields internally within the reactors of the system, or what we call shielding? Many of you, in the process of most probably being on the internet or looking at different people report, you see what you call UFOs appear out of clouds, or they are in the clouds. They create that cloud. As you've seen, we reported 4 weeks ago, 3 weeks ago, in South China Sea, and again yesterday. You should be able And in a condition, as we explained last 2 or 3 weeks ago, we see creation of water in certain position of the reactors. It's in reality, we have learned how to create clouds that can lead to creation of rain. What does this mean? In the space technology in the coming time, in the
Waiting for Mr. Keshe to come back. We're not able to hear you, Mr. Keshe. I'm not sure if you can hear me now. Seem to have a bit of an internet issue today with the connection, so
hello, I'm back again.
Yeah,
So,
thank you.
well, yeah, sorry about this. We have an unstable system here today. So what happens is, comes to the point of what we discussed. As I said, we see people say UFO comes out of the cloud. They don't hide behind the clouds. They create the clouds. And then in a given condition, in a drought, even in the huge fires, can we create a condition that we move clouds over that creates rain? These are the knowledge which has got to be gained and to be used for the benefit of mankind. These are the things which we will see in the development of the technology in the coming time. We know, we understand the process. Now it's time to be able to expand. As I said, we say something and in a few months, few weeks, some of you will start testing and says, oh, this is what I've achieved. But if you go back to teaching, you understand it, you expand it, and where we get now. So in a test now again, in a short time, we have seen the creation of massive clouds. We can create, is it us? But don't forget, there are a number of Keshe Foundation supporters who have reported such a things they have created, or they can move typhoons or whatever. We cannot interfere in the course of the life of a planet. But in certain positions, in running our systems, we create local conditions which we can and will affect. So we come to the next steps of the next step in the knowledge of understanding, and that is, can we create a condition that, using our transportation, new ways of creating a flight system, we can control rain. We can control forest. Many of you write to us that, can you advise a system that it can stop fires in the forest? You can do, now you see it. But if you do, it's the biggest mistake, because you change the dimensions of the life on this planet. Forest fires is part of the structure of the life of this planet. Deserts are part of the structure of this planet. We can change harvest, we can change goods, we can change everything, but we have to understand what's the reason we are doing it. What's the principle behind it we are doing it? Are we doing it for a short term, or are we there to sit to change? Can we use the motion and the movement of the desert, but at the same time create a condition at the boundary of the desert that we can halt it? But what will happen in 100,000 years, in 1,000 years, when The energy of the desert, which is supposed to move, has been stagnated. Still there, we cannot stop it. We can put a fence in front of it. It's like a dam. At a point, sometime in the future, this dam will break. In the understanding of the total cosmology and what we call the understanding of the geology of this planet, we'll find out whatever we do, now that we have gained this new knowledge, will affect something somewhere else. Or is it, I'm okay, Jack, forget about what my next door neighbor happens to him. Because becoming part of one nation, next door neighbor is the same nation as part of us. These are the technologies which are coming, these are the test results which are coming in, and through test results, we have to understand what we are creating. In a process of teaching, we refer to creation of neutron, how you created the atomic structure and molecular structure, or you create the atomic structure in a nano-conditioned gas of the plasma, and you led to the creation of new dimension. But now this new dimension, what we call plasma of a neutron, can be used directly itself. How do you load this that you can create a condition? How can you transfer loads from what we call gravitational to magnetical? If you look into the structure of those of you who work in the space level, very simple, and that is if you look into your reactors, the same process follows. If your ratio in respect to your reactors is understood, is you create the field. It wants to move. Sorry about this, I have to change something that it doesn't want to move. Okay, so if your ratio mass is this way, you create gravitational, or if the ratio mass is this way, you create magnetical. So then you need only one reactor, one fuel. But there is a further steps in the knowledge of the space technology that you cannot keep on carrying neutrons with you. We go into the next level of understanding of the space technology, which is the free energy, the origin of the creation of life. Which means you have to find a way that you take advantage of the fields and not the neutrons. Field technology transfer, the origin of the creation of life, is balanced according to the process of understanding. Remember, you came from gases and you produced the neutrons. Now you have to use the neutrons to create a condition of free plasma. And that free plasma, in a condition of understanding the field forces of the creation of the structure, he will not interact with a neutron, but he will interact with the field plasma, which is the creation of his own soul. This is, if you go back in the teachings of 3-4 years ago, we call this, in a simple way, a free plasma position. If you look, and now that you have started creating neutron reactors, very simply, this is what we've been teaching you about. Creation of the plasma without containment. Creation and control of the plasma without containment. Because what happened, it goes back to the origin of life. If you remember, very simple. We put egg and sperm together. From it, we created the soul of the man. And through it, we created the dimension of creation. Now, you put the neutrons. You created the condition of the fields, what you call the free plasma. But up to now, you were in a matter state. Now, you come into the condition of the free plasma state, which means non-containment. And what you will see in the dimension of the development of the reactors, as you remember, you had the 4 reactors, 3 base and 1 top. Each one of these has created its own free plasma. And the interaction of the 3 has created condition of the creation of the plasma itself. Because you have to see what you have. Each segment has created its own free plasma, and the totality has created a top free plasma. Now your control system sits in this. In a way, if the knowledge of man increases in the coming time, what you will do, you use the motors, you use the neutrons, you use the cores to create the field of the free plasma. And once you tap into the free plasma without matter construction, then you create the totality. This is what you see in the spaceships, what you see in UFOs when you look underneath. You don't see any containment. You see reactors without containment. You see the light. Then this process leads to creation of the totality. If you remember a few weeks ago, I explained that there is another step in the process. There is another step in understanding of the process of the teaching. So,
no, mamy już koniec tłumaczenia, już nie mamy więcej na dzisiaj. No powiem, że trochę mi się zrobiło w głowie pomieszanie z poplątaniem, żeby to tak szybko ogarnąć wszystko. Ale myślę, że z biegiem czasu jakoś damy radę. Jeśli ktoś chce się wypowiedzieć, coś powiedzieć od siebie, co zrozumiał lub wytłumaczyć to jakoś, to zapraszam serdecznie.
No dzięki Jarku, ja tu może coś postaram się wytłumaczyć, może to trochę rozjaśni parę kwestii. Zaczęło się w zasadzie od tematu właśnie chmur, które tworzą się w Chinach nad ich centrum badawczym i prostych pytaniach, które zadawał dr Keshe po to, żeby poszerzyć zrozumienie tego, co się dzieje i w tym warunku te reaktory tego statku, spaceshipa, o którym mówimy w Chinach, one tworzyły warunek silniejszego i to było zrozumiałe, bo ten warunek jest na pewno warunkiem silniejszego, bo te reaktory, nie było tak, że te reaktory leciały do nieba, leciały do chmur, że silniejszy je przyciągał, można powiedzieć, tylko te reaktory powoli jakby karmiły te chmury i to było też powodem, dlaczego te chmury formowały się akurat w bliskiej odległości od tego centrum, bo w reaktorach był właśnie warunek ten silniejszego, czyli reaktory operujące na neutronie, można powiedzieć, miały to ciasto, z którego możemy upiec cokolwiek, a tym cokolwiek w tym wypadku, tym warunkiem słabszego, tak jak wiemy, to słabszy dyktuje, w którą stronę jest przepływ, więc ten słabszy, będąc właśnie w sile pól, tam gdzie są chmury, czyli wody, tworzyły ten warunek. Była możliwość właśnie dla zostania tego warunku, gdzie te reaktory mogły karmić jakąkolwiek kreację, w tym przypadku właśnie kreację chmur. I później dr Keshe mówił o tym, że to nie jest tak, że spaceshipy i inne statki, które obserwujemy, jak słyszymy różne raporty ludzi, którzy je widzieli, że one chowają się za chmurami. To jest tak, że w zasadzie te chmury są tworzone przez ich obecność. Dzieje się to samo. I tu po raz kolejny dr Keshe kontynuuje ten temat, na jakim skończył 236, żeby właśnie o neutronie, że trzeba go zawrzeć, z angielskiego contain, to ciężko przetłumaczyć sobie to słowo, ale żeby go tak zawrzeć, objąć, przytrzymać, żeby on był po prostu był w jakiś sposób ograniczony, żeby móc go skonwertować po to, żeby móc go zastosować. Tutaj było zrozumienie właśnie tego zastosowania, tego też, że możemy zastać z zewnątrz, bo wiemy, że w tej interakcji, kiedy silniejszy karmi słabszego, kiedy te reaktory karmią właśnie chmury, to, że one coraz większe się robią, to wiemy, że w drugą stronę też coś zasysamy. Ta reakcja zawsze jest magnetyczno-grawitacyjna. Coś dajemy, coś bierzemy, coś bierzemy, coś dajemy i tak samo możemy tutaj stworzyć warunek wewnątrz spaceshipa po to, żeby otrzymywać siłę puls elementów, które nam są potrzebne, na przykład H2O, wody, tlenu, wodoru, czegokolwiek w spaceshipie w środku, żeby się móc właśnie odżywiać na poziomie pól, a nie na poziomie materii. Warunek wolnej plazmy, tutaj dr Keshe po raz kolejny, to jest tak, jak tworzy się dusza, to Halo Center, to się dzieje w tańcu właśnie komórki plazmy, plemnika i jajeczka. I tutaj dr Keshe mówi, że wtedy, kiedy funkcjonujemy właśnie w takim warunku wolnej plazmy, czyli to jest to, co chcemy uzyskać, czy na poziomie materialnym spaceshipa, czy na poziomie niematerialnym, czy w zrozumieniu naszego własnego ciała, naszych własnych reaktorów, wtedy możemy się pozycjonować w stosunku do Ziemi poprzez osiągnięcie tego warunku wolnej plazmy. I to jest to, co tutaj dr Keshe też rozrysowywał, zaraz do tego dojdziemy, ale wcześniej jeszcze mówił o przesuwaniu pustyń, gaszeniu pożarów, czyli generalnie ingerowaniu, wtrącaniu się w życie planety, gdzie tutaj też dał przykład dr Keshe sąsiada, że zachowujemy się tak, robiąc to, próbując ingerować, zachowujemy się tak, jakby nas nie obchodziło to, że przesuwamy, zmieniamy tor, bieg tego, co miało się wydarzyć naturalnie na tej planecie i może ucierpieć na tym nasz sąsiad, a w zrozumieniu jednej planety, jednej rasy, jednego narodu, to czyniąc sąsiadowi, to tak jakbyśmy w zasadzie czynili sami sobie, bo wszyscy jesteśmy jednym narodem, jedną rasą ludzką. I później wracamy po raz kolejny do tej plazmy neutronu, do stanu wolnej plazmy, gdzie możemy, tutaj też było wcześniej takie ostrzeżenie, że w świecie nie można sobie tak po prostu biegać z neutronem w kieszeni. I tu właśnie idziemy w zrozumienie to, co też dr Keshe rysował w postaci właśnie ósemeczki, czyli zrozumienia tego punktu, tego stanu wolnej plazmy. I teraz, żeby gdzieś tam dodać do tego, co było na rysunku, to tutaj dr Keshe mówi, w tej trójce reaktorów tworzysz sobie między innymi warunek wolnej plazmy, tak samo w tej trójce ta formacja gwiazdy, star formation, to nie jest formacja, w której tworzy się jedna plazma, tylko mamy tutaj wiele wiele właśnie tych interakcji między każdy z każdym z tych elementów. I później mieliśmy właśnie omówiony ten warunek wolnej plazmy, który tworzy się z interakcji właśnie tych wcześniej powstałych plazm tutaj w interakcji tych pojedynczych reaktorów. I to jest to, co wspominałem, to co też było dzisiaj na wykładzie omawiane. No mówiliśmy o tym, że mamy ten boks, robimy CH3 na przykład, później bierzemy te CH3, wkładamy do boksa CO2 i wyciągamy z tego węgiel po to, żeby został nam H3, żeby został nam tryt. Później mieliśmy właśnie zrozumienie tego, że z wodoru na przykład i z deuteru możemy otrzymać neutron. Tak samo mieliśmy w kontekście właśnie tego trytu, który uzyskaliśmy, i deuteru, że możemy tutaj osiągnąć też neutron, i z poprzedniego wykładu wiemy, że te neutrony się różnią. I później w tym samym zestawieniu, i tutaj rysuję w zasadzie pudełko gazu CO2 cały czas, ale możemy to też rozumieć jako po prostu dwa reaktorki wchodzące ze sobą w interakcję, że mając ten jeden neutron i mając ten drugi neutron, wchodzimy właśnie w ten warunek wolnej plazmy właśnie można powiedzieć trzeciego rodzaju neutronów, skoro tutaj rozróżniamy chociażby kolorystycznie albo to powinowactwo, czy to można powiedzieć korzenie, czy to, co jest zapisane w cudzysłowie w DNA tego neutronu, czyli co go stworzyło. I teraz to, co nam dr Keshe pokazał tutaj na reaktorkach, to wielopoziomowe zrozumienie, jak to wszystko się nadbudowuje z interakcji, z czym powstaje kolejna plazma, z interakcji tych kolejnych plazm powstaje kolejny element. Tak samo widzimy, że tutaj idąc właśnie przez te nasze boksy, czy to mamy płytki, czy mamy po obu stronach właśnie kręcące się reaktorki, chodzi właśnie o to samo, o ten progresywne zrozumienie i też progresywne konstruowanie, wchodzenie w coraz to różne prędkości puli, tworzenie coraz to, można powiedzieć, rzadszego czy szybszego, jeśli powiemy w polach, kierunku, w którym jesteśmy w stanie wyłapywać, mapować, czyli tak dotykać jakby palcami ręki, podłączać się, dotykać coraz to głębszych wymiarów egzystencji w głąb tego ślimaka, który zawsze rozumiemy. Czyli tu widzimy, tak jak mówiłem, i na przykładzie reaktorków, i na przykładzie produkcji gansów i gansów z gansów, właśnie tych izotopów wodoru i neutronów, widzimy, jak poruszamy się wewnątrz tej spirali i fizyczności, i naszego zrozumienia plazmy. Jeśli to coś wyjaśnia, Jarku, mam nadzieję, że tak.
Nie, no tak, dzięki. Nie, no bardzo, bardzo fajnie wytłumaczyłeś, tym bardziej czym więcej osób jakby tłumaczy to na swój sposób, tym więcej my to po prostu więcej rozumiemy tego. No to bardzo Ci dziękuję. Są jakieś pytania może? Chyba każdy rozumie. Albo późno już jest i w głowie się trochę ciasno zrobiło. No dobrze, jak nie ma więcej pytań, także dziękuję za dzisiejsze spotkanie, za rozwinięcie, za dodanie do wiedzy, za wysłuchanie i zapraszam na kolejne spotkanie, które będzie w niedzielę. Także dziękuję bardzo i do usłyszenia.
It's time for change to move into the real work of the universe. And it's time to understand that we use the matter state to reach the level of understanding of the soul of it. Now you understand maybe why the Creator has sent His messengers in the name of whatever you have had. Is that they bring the ears that it can be used when the time of the Messiah comes. They can teach the soul and the message, not to oppose. But by them understanding through those who have become Messiahs to give from their souls to these to elevate, the job is made easy. The school is there and the students are devotedly there. Then there won't be any fight between what they call the Muslims and the Christians. The lamb and the lion will eat and sleep in the same nest. The Christians and the Muslims will sleep and pray in the mosque and in the same church in the name of their souls, not in the name of religion that is used to create so much conflict for the benefit of those who were the hyperactive children. The time has come, the time of change is here. And as I said, my wish is my command. If it's your wish to see peace, the path of peace is laid very clearly. It's the soul of the collective awareness. By giving will create that position of change. No other thing. There is no pen in the soul of the man. And I'm sure once you go into the universal community, you will never see anything written but the balance of the fields of the soul of the existence. Try to be humble enough not to become arrogant in the power that you have understood and you possess. Otherwise, you'll fall in the same path of the church and the mosque. This is what we promised, and this is what we have delivered. We have to understand the operation of the soul, and we have to understand the soul of the man is a star in the cosmos of the universe. If we compare the soul of the man and many of us, 7 billion in one collection, Earth is like a galaxy with so many stars. When we look in the depth of the universe, we see galaxies with hundreds of millions of stars in it. So is the planet Earth. It carries 7 billion beautiful stars, which are the soul of the man. Carries with it soul of so many trillions of animals, plants, and everything else. So if you look, when someone who does not see the physicality of the earth and its content, what do they see? They see a galaxy with so many beautiful lights shining, each one according to their strength, each one according to their position. An infant has a beautiful soul, so has the old man. To those who do not see the physical dimension of this planet, but they see the strength of the field, we are clusters of stars. The human race, every single soul, no one from a distance sees that's the soul of a fisherman, that's the soul of the cosmologist, that's the soul of the president. They all shine irrespective of the physicality. This is the magic. This is what the new science has to bring to man. When we look through our soul, we see nothing but we star in the other souls. And this is the break. This is the understanding. This is what all these teachings are about. Coming to mature to the next level, to understand in the deep space, the universe is the oyster for those souls who serve. Then man is ready to go into space. Then man is ready to become part of the universal community which has been promised. I never promised you heaven. I always promised you the elevation of the man to join the family. And now you have the key. It's you who has to open the door to understand, if I can raise the soul of these people or millions of other souls, that their physical life on this planet changes, then I'm worthy to be part of the universal community. To be there to serve, to expand. To be there, to be part, that in the cycle of life of universe, I become, in being part, I become part of the totality. When man reaches that point, a new dimension in the strength of the soul of the man will appear, which is beyond imagination of understanding of the physical life. It's the gate to the opening of the new life, in a new dimension, which is beyond imagination of what you might call a new beginning, a new cycle. Which that cycle carries with itself the origin of the creation of life in the universe and the universe. It's the elevation of the soul to serve become the key, not a throne of the physical life. The time is right. The time has come for the man to go through this process.